My thoughts often wander through these upper South Carolina hills that shelter the university that forms a common bond for many thousands of people who have studied here, or taught here, or worked here. There's something in these hills that has touched every one of them, something that has rubbed off on them in varying degrees, something that is built within the breasts of all Clemson men and women, an enduring spark akin to an eternal pride. There's something in these hills. It was here when a handful of fledgling faculty members greeted a relatively small band of 446 students more than 100 years ago. That was shortly after convict labor had completed an administration building and clock tower that still dominate these Blue Ridge foothills with a timelessness and serenity that impart inspiration and strength anew each time they are looked upon. There's something in these hills that has endeared itself to an endless procession of administrators, teachers, students, secretaries, and workmen. Hundreds of names pass through my consciousness, names of people who gave selflessly of themselves to build the institution nestled here, and who at one and the same time mined the priceless something the hills contain, and returned to them still more of it. There's something in these hills, and from them we have drawn the power to transcend the stresses and strains that tug away to make things come unglued in these disquieting times. The power to cut through such modern concepts and such modern facts as generation gaps, communication gaps, and ideological gaps. There's something in these hills that has bound together a man of over 90 and a woman under 20. Something that has given them a common ground on which to stand and a start toward bridging and eliminating any gap or any stress or any strain that might try to make unglued whatever they seek for themselves as they move out of these hills into the mountains, the plains, the oceans, the forests, the skies, and the storms of life. There is something in these hills that you and I can't define, and others can't understand. A wave of warmth always surges through me when outsiders say, "I don't know what it is about you Clemson people, but your undying love for Clemson is admired by everyone I know." There's something in these hills, and I suspect that's what it is. The ability of an institution through the unending dedication and greatness of its people, its administration, its faculty, its staff, its students, and alumni to impart to all it touches a respect, an admiration, an affection that stands firm in disquieting times, when things around it give impressions of coming unglued. There is something in these hills that brings together and binds together and holds together
men and women of all persuasions,
of all heights, sizes, weights, and cultural backgrounds.
Something that cuts across every difference, spans every gap, penetrates every wall.
Something that makes a man or a woman stand taller, feel better, and say with a high pride to all within earshot,
I
I
went to Clemson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can't tell you how excited I am to welcome you to the 2021 Spring Ring Ceremony. My name is Jack McLeod, and I'm the president of the Clemson Student Alumni Association and the Student Alumni Council. It is an honor to be here with each of you today as you participate in one of Clemson's greatest traditions. This past year has been a year like none we have ever experienced. As students, faculty, staff, and families, we have faced challenges that are beyond anything we could have ever imagined. We became virtual students and learned to navigate social distancing. Our new normal includes wearing a mask wherever we go, protecting ourselves and those around us. We have worked hard together and leaned on each other during a time of uncertainty. We have learned the importance of showing our love and support to all of our fellow classmates, friends, our beloved Clemson family, and the entire country. We have joined together as one voice to show the world that we are committed as a university, a community, and a family to uplifting one another and doing our part to erase social inequality. Our generation will be forever unique and even more strongly united for all that this year has placed in our paths. That is why this ring and this ceremony is so important. Placing the Clemson ring on your finger today not only signifies that you are close to graduation, it is a forever reminder of your time, your life, and your experiences while you were on Clemson's campus. It will also serve as a connection to the many alumni you will come to know throughout your life after you have crossed a future stage to receive your Clemson diploma. It will forever connect you to Clemson and to each other, and it will forever remind you of this day. We are honored to have so many special guests with us, from all of you students receiving your Clemson ring and your families who have joined you for this special occasion, to our guest speakers, who will provide a glimpse into what the Clemson ring means for the entire Clemson family. First, please join me in welcoming the members of our distinguished stage party. Our university president, Dr. Jim Clements, interim vice president and dean of students, Dr. Chris Miller, president of the Clemson Alumni Association, Mr. Greg Morton, and executive director of the Clemson Alumni Association, Mr. Will Brasington. Thank you. And now, I'd like to invite our Master of Ceremonies for the afternoon, Mr. Will Brasington, to come forward to begin our program. Will is a member of the class of 2000, and as just mentioned, he is the executive director of the Clemson Alumni Association. Please welcome Mr. Will Brasington.
Well, Jack, thank you for that very warm introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's great to see each of you and really good to be gathered here together in this wellness arena on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Greenville. We're so glad to be together because just a short time ago we were uncertain how possible gatherings of this type would be. And as Jack has already alluded to, and as I'm sure each of you would readily agree, this past year has been quite the journey for each of us, to say the least. But our team at the Clemson Alumni Association along with the Student Alumni Council, has been working diligently to create for you today's memorable experience. Speaking of memories, students, each of you have undoubtedly created countless memories during your time at Clemson thus far that you will hold dear for the rest of your life. And today we celebrate a remarkable milestone in your Clemson journey, you joining our more than 164,000 living alumni around the world by becoming the proud recipient of the Clemson ring. To the parents and to the guests of those that we honor today, we know that due to safety precautions and limited capacity, each of your loved ones may not have been able to be here with us. But we thank you for your understanding and for taking the time to travel here to experience this special moment with our students. The Clemson Alumni Association is proud to sponsor this ring ceremony as part of our ongoing mission to celebrate and enhance that connection and to serve and enable all who love Clemson to remain actively involved in the advancement of our university. The association brings together alumni of all ages, all races, all geographies to keep their flame for Clemson alive and glowing. We do this through events, through get-togethers, various activities, and regular communications so that alumni always feel a part of the Clemson family. And of particular importance to those of you who will soon graduate, the Alumni Association provides an array of services and networking opportunities to help recent graduates begin their careers. More than anything, your Clemson Alumni Association unites all those who proudly wear the Clemson ring in celebrating our special kinship. Our mission is to keep all members of the Clemson family engaged in, informed about, and excited and inspired by all that is happening with Clemson and with our alumni. Nothing symbolizes that connection we share more beautifully or more powerfully than the Clemson ring. Over time, the Clemson ring has changed a little, but its tradition has always remained the same. And now, you too are part of that tradition. To highlight the special history of our Clemson ring, which dates all the way back to the first graduating class in 1896, I hope you will please enjoy this following video.
Your ring tells a story of the journey you took to get here, the dreams, the sacrifices, the grit. Your ring tells a story of opportunity, of newly opened doors. Your key. A game changer, a career starter, a conduit to success. Your ring tells a story of legacy, the history of those who came before you, those who dared to be extraordinary in their pursuit of excellence. Your ring tells a story of selfless service, of wars fought and battles won, the thousands of bold men and women who risked it all and didn't hesitate to do so. Your ring tells a story of the dreamers and doers, the ones who dare to change the status quo, the students who become professionals, the interns who become experts, the leaders who become heroes. Your ring tells a story of kinship, of an unspoken bond. This is what family feels like. Our alma mater runs deep. This unwavering connectedness survives in a world that can easily divide us. Who shall separate us now? No one. Your ring tells a story of the person wearing it now and the person wearing it 100 years ago. A lifelong network of family. Your ring tells a story of humble beginnings. The first ring formed and cut in 1896. The evolution of this small but mighty silver and gold Taurus. The updates, the upgrades, the tributes, the honor, the eagle of peace, the palmetto, the star, the hope. Dum spiro spero spes. As long as you have breath, you can fight on. Your ring tells a story of Clemson pride, of homegrown glory, unstoppable Tigers, of championships won and victories to come. Your ring tells your story, your journey to get here, your blueprint for success. Your ring is your family, your link to the past, present, and future of Clemson. Your friends, your classmates, your people. It's so much more than a ring. It's your story, a part of who you are. It is your part of our story. Wear it with pride. Tiger pride.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Charrick, and I'm the Vice President of the Student Alumni Association and Student Alumni Council. As a Clemson student and representative of the student body, it is my pleasure to join you on such a special occasion. As a group, we have overcome so much this year. We have faced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Yet we have bonded together as a family in solidarity and love. And today, we will strengthen that bond by joining together in the wearing of the Clemson ring. Along with graduation, this will be one of the most important moments of your college career. I hope you will cherish it as much as I know I will when I receive my ring this fall. The last year has brought much uncertainty as to whether we could join together for an occasion like this, and I'm so happy that we made it. We wouldn't be here today without the faithful leadership of the president of our alma mater. President Clements has had a major impact on this great university in service to students, faculty, and staff, and to alumni everywhere. He is a nationally recognized voice in higher education who is leading Clemson to unprecedented levels of achievement. Since he joined Clemson, applications have increased from 19,000 in 2013 to more than a record 46,000 this year. And during that same time period, research expenditures have increased by $68 million, topping $219 million last year. Student success measures, such as retention rates and graduation rates, are at all-time highs. He has helped to raise more than $1 billion for our students and faculty, and the university has invested $1 billion in new construction. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Jem Clements.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, go Tigers. Good evening, go Tigers. And thank you all for being here for this very special ceremony on this absolutely beautiful day. I'm honored and I'm thrilled to be with you for your ring ceremony. And I can tell you that this is one of my absolute most favorite Clemson traditions. This past year, as we all know, has been difficult, and it's been different, and it's presented us with many challenges, but we remain strong. So I'm glad that we're able to gather here today to safely celebrate this important milestone in your life and in your Clemson journey. The ring ceremony is indeed another great Clemson tradition, and it's always a special day, but in this year in particular, it is definitely a bright spot. Many universities canceled major events like this. Others held them online. But at Clemson, we are different. We felt that it was important for us to give you this special day. Will you please help me thank Jack McLeod and Sarah Charrick for their service as President and Vice President of the Student Alumni Council. And will you please help me thank our undergraduate student body president, William Reinert, who will speak in just a couple minutes. I appreciate their leadership and the important work that they do. I also want to thank the chairs for our ring ceremony, Jules Lewis and Grant Wilkins and their team. I know they did a lot of hard work planning for this event. Would you please help me thank them? I'm also thankful for the gentleman on the stage with me, Will Brasington, Executive Director of the Alumni Association, Mr. Greg Morton, President of the Alumni Association, and Dr. Chris Miller. You know, rings are important things. They have a tangible value, as you will see in the video a little later in the ceremony about my very dear and good friend, Colonel Ben Scarden. Rings also have great symbolic value. The ring that I wear every day symbolizes the commitment that my wife and I made on our wedding day more than 30 years ago. My wedding ring celebrates the birth of a new family, my family. In a similar way, your Clemson ring symbolizes an important rite of passage for you. And today is an important milestone in your life and on your journey at Clemson. For many of you, that journey started with freshman convocation when I had the chance to welcome you to the university. And it will continue again until we meet at graduation and you receive your diploma. But what does this day, Ring Day, actually signify? First, it means that you have successfully completed at least 90 credit hours of academic work towards earning your degree. So pat yourselves on the back. That is a significant accomplishment at one of the top public universities in the country. About 3/4 of your college career is now behind you, and the end is in sight. Second, it means that you have chosen a major field of study and a career path that you will follow. Your future beyond Clemson as an independent, self-sufficient adult is taking shape. Parents, I know that you are happy about that, and we thank you for your support. Will you please help me thank all the parents who are here? Finally, many of you will leave this ring ceremony absolutely determined to make the best possible use of every minute you have left at Clemson. I felt the same way my senior year in college, and I know you will too. Savor this time. Use it wisely and make it meaningful. You will never have a better chance to learn from so many people than you will right here at Clemson. Wear your ring with great pride and with the understanding that upon graduation, you will join a family with more than 164,000 alums around the world. This is an opportunity, but it's also a responsibility. You will be an ambassador for Clemson wherever you travel. Your ring will be a conversation starter, and it will open doors for you. Soon you will add your story to the ring stories that we will hear today. So it's truly an honor for me to give to you your Clemson ring, especially this year when we've been through so much already. Congratulations again, and thank you for allowing me to be part of your Clemson journey. May God bless you all, and go Tigers!
Well, hello, fellow Tigers. My name is William Ryan, and I currently serve as the student body president, and I'm also a member of the Student Alumni Council. I am honored to be here with you all today during this monumental time in your Clemson story. The Clemson ring stands for many things, and as you will shortly see, it has even saved a life. At this point, you're on the back end of your college career. You're finishing up projects, wrapping up classes, and making those final memories that'll last a lifetime. You will soon experience firsthand how far a Clemson education can take you and how much a Clemson ring can mean to you. I would like to take a moment to tell you a little bit about my own Clemson story and why my Clemson ring will mean so much to me. Like many, my journey begins long before I was even born. My parents met while they were at Clemson, and for our entire lives, they shared with me and my brother and sister how special that time they had here was. I grew up right down the road in Anderson, and what started as a chance meeting between my grandfather and a man named Bill Davidson at a flea market in Williamson, South Carolina, would create a life-changing moment for my entire family. During that meeting, the two became fast friends, and my grandfather shared with Mr. Davidson that he had a daughter attending Clemson. Before they parted, Mr. Davidson invited him and my family to a tailgate outside Memorial Stadium, where my family became an extension of the Davidson family for the next 35 years. This tailgate began a love for Clemson I couldn't explain. Every time we drove onto campus, I could feel the excitement building. I was head over heels for the spirit, the athletics, the joy of Clemson. My favorite times were in Little John Coliseum. As a child, I had the unique pleasure of watching the Tigers play basketball just behind a man I call my personal hero, President Emeritus James Parker. Even though I was a young child, he would greet me, cheer with me, and help me see how special Clemson really was. This campus became a safe haven until my brother decided Clemson was where he would go to school. Now, don't get me wrong, my brother Sam and I are best friends, but we are so much alike, and I was determined to make my own path. I was convinced to go to Georgetown, and that didn't pan out. And then I was going to Georgia, but it just wasn't the right fit I was looking for either. I tried everything I could not to follow in my brother's footsteps, but nowhere felt right. My mom was convinced the only place for me was Clemson and gave me the drive I needed to complete my application. So the night before the application was due, I submitted it and later would be so glad that I did. I found out I was accepted and I decided it was the only place I was comfortable with, so why not give it a try? I wasn't happy about it. In fact, I was pretty miserable about having to come to Clemson. Most students will tell you they have this moment when they're on campus on their tour when they just know this is their home. I hadn't had that, and I didn't know I would through the motions of moving. It wasn't until convocation that I had this Clemson moment. It wasn't the exciting content of convocation itself that hit me. It was the first time I sang the alma mater as a student. No matter how many times I'd sung it before, it was shocking to me how instantaneously I was struck by a love for Clemson I never even knew as a child. I suddenly found myself reflecting on all the times I'd been in Little John and celebrating Clemson with my family. I was absolutely in love, and I couldn't deny it. And since that day, that moment of serenity has inspired me to do everything I could to be involved, to make a difference, and hope that I leave Clemson a better place in which I found it. I don't have my ring quite yet, but I know it will not only be a symbol of my time and my memories at Clemson, but it will also be a forever memory and example of the men and women that came before me. It will be a reminder of the sacrifices my mother, my father, my grandfather made for me so that I can be in the position that I am today. It will be a symbol to the connection I have with my parents and my siblings, since we all 5 will be graduates of Clemson now that my sister will be attending in the fall. And most importantly, it will be a reminder that I am forever connected to a family that extends far beyond just my flesh and blood. The Clemson ring does not care about your race, your religion, or your personal beliefs because it serves one purpose. It binds Clemson Tigers together as one united family. Despite the different stories that are attached to each individual Clemson ring, I know there is one thing that they all have in common. They are worn by Clemson Tigers. Soon, your ring will hold a special place in your heart, too. Always cherish your ring, as it is the greatest example of the bond between those who have graduated from Clemson. It will forever connect you to your Clemson family and will open doors for you wherever you may go. I will forever be loyal to Clemson, and I will always be proud to wear my ring, and I know you will too. Very soon, you will hear a story of Colonel Ben Scarden, a member of Clemson's class of 1938. Following a distinguished military career, Colonel Scarden returned to Clemson as a professor of English, where during that second career, Clemson students selected him as the Alumni Master Teacher in 1977. In 2002, he received the Alumni Association's highest award for distinguished service. Today, we are honored to have the opportunity to hear his amazing story and how his Clemson ring literally saved his life.
I have a World War II story concerning my ring, and it involved also 2 Clemson graduates. It had to do with my incarceration in a Japanese prison camp. The Bataan Death March occurred at the surrender of the American Filipino forces in April of 1942 on the Bataan Peninsula, which is off of the big island of Luzon, the largest island in the Philippine archipelago. Now, we started out on the march, and it soon became very plain to us there's a certain amount of terror in what's going on, because you saw people getting clubbed with a rifle, punched with a bayonet, and so we soon realized, look, as we made the march, that the guards were looking for rings, watches, and in some cases your shoes. We didn't have boots. I took my ring off and I rolled it up in my sleeve, I believe, so that I never, from then on, I became very, very protective of the ring. Never to pull it out and look at it or anything else, but I knew where it was. I was in very, very bad health in prison camp, and there was no medicine, no way of improving your health. And I was teamed up with Henry Leitner and Otis Morgan. Henry was a class of 37, Otis a class of 38. And almost everyone had been stripped of all their personal possessions, especially things like watches, rings, shoes, things of that nature. But I'd managed to keep my ring hidden. And I never pulled it out. I always had it tied up in a little piece of rag, put somewhere, some place or another. And then when it got to where I was going to have to be put over in what they call the hospital area in the 0 ward, because that's where they took people that couldn't do anything for us, and no one ever returned from there. Henry and Otis took care of me personally, and Otis learned a little bit of Japanese, and he became what we call an in-charge. Otis was able to let it be known that he knew of a gold ring for trade for food, and they mixed up chicken and rice, and they spoon-fed me because I had couldn't see very well for one thing, but I responded to that so well, my appetite was restored, my eyes cleared up, my feet cleared up, and I was whole again, so to speak. Well, I've often thought about my little gold ring which I'd hidden for so long, and I had no qualms about turning it over to Otis for this exchange, because there was nothing else that could be done. But I've always thought about that ring, and when I was married in 1947, my wife, as an engagement present, had my brother, who was a Clemson graduate, replace the ring. The representative, Mr. Waters of the graduate of Duke University, who is the contract person for the makers of the Clemson ring, at a very great surprise to me, at the ring ceremony, presented me with this ring. And I've had it ever since, naturally, and take a great pride and glory in having a ring that fits, and one that I'm very, very proud of. That's what's so remarkable about this story. I love to tell it, because as I describe this turnaround from the benefits of the ring, it's saved my life. And that's, people, I think, sometimes don't realize how serious I am when I say that it saved my life.
President Clements and the Clemson ring recipients,
I regret that I am unable to personally attend this special occasion that bonds each of us together. Today is very special for you and me. I extend to you my best wishes for good health, success, and happiness, and my personal motto, ever loyal.
Wow. What a powerful story about such a special individual, a great American, and a true Clemson Tiger in Colonel Ben Scarden. It's always such a pleasure to share his story so that all who wear the Clemson ring, including each of you here today, can truly understand the bond of the Clemson family and the significance of the ring. We all wish Colonel Scarden could be here with us today. As he said himself, he's been present for most all of our ceremonies over these last 19 or 20 years, but we are at least glad he could send and share a special message with each of you. Students, we hope that each time you look at the Clemson ring on your finger from this day forward, you will recall Colonel Scarden's story so that the ring will become a constant reminder and inspiration to use your Clemson education, your Clemson experience, and your Clemson spirit to be of service to others wherever you may go in life. And as we prepare momentarily to present you with your Clemson ring, I'd like to point out something that you might find to be neat. We've talked a lot today about the ring's rich history, and in fact, the video we watched a little earlier talked about some of the design elements that help make our ring very special and to stand out. When you walk across this stage in a few moments, inside the white box you will receive from President Clements, you will find a wooden box that contains your ring. I ask you to pay particular close attention to that wooden box because you see it was made from the wood of trees that once thrived on Clemson's campus. These trees, many of which fell due to old, aging root systems, spent many years as the canopy of our campus that we all walked under at one time or another. May this box, as well as your ring, bring you fond memories of the special times you experienced at Clemson. Now, it is time to celebrate and recognize each of you as having earned the right to wear the Clemson ring. On behalf of the association, and indeed the entire Clemson family, we applaud you for this impressive accomplishment. And now, without further ado, please allow the presentation of the class rings to begin.
Maya Nagelberg, William Nally, Joe Natoli, Timothy Nyack, Margaret Neal, Cameron Nelson, Lakira Nelson, Tara Nelson, Alyssa Newcomb, Elena Newman, Andrew Nicholas, Frank Nichols, Ashley Nimmons, Lauren Nix, Madison Noble, Hunter Nobles, Cheyenne Nocito, Hallie Nold, Kirkley Norwood, Anna Nottinson, Mary Parker, Daniel Novak, Sam O'Kane, Zari O'Connor, Jackson Odell, Allison O'Toole, Esther Odecki, Helen Odom, Madeline Odom, Sophia Olguin, Cassidy Olstein, Sarah Ori, Devin Orr, Michaela Orr, Sydney Osborne, Beth Onakian, Jacob Owens, Noah Owens, Caroline Packard, William Palladino, Lane Palmer, Francis Nidifer, Caitlin Pangaleman, Alex Pappas, Taylor Pappas, Elizabeth Parker, Charlie Pecanis, Kaylee Parker, Jackson Parrish, Emma Patterson, Colin Pavlock, Sophia Peck, Stephen Peak, Kelly Penland, Jada Penn, Rebecca Pereira, Kelly Perkins, John Perry, Zoe Perry, Samantha Peterson, Hannah Petrella, Damia Pham, Sage Phelps, Alec Phillips, Jocelyn Phillips, Catherine Phillips, Hannah Phipps, Anne-Marie Piccioni, Capria Pico, Jennifer Picars, Claire Pinkowski, Mitchell Pierce, Hayden Pittman, Margaret Poncell, Ali Popovchek, Chaz Porter, Andrew Potts, Tate Pouch, Emily Powell, Natalie Powell, Isabella Powell, Allison Powers, Samuel Press, Andrea Presley, Thomas Privetti, Cameron Price, Savannah Price, Eric Prelo, Nicholas Provost, Hannah Purvis, Hannah Putney, Garrett Quantz, Sydney Radecki, Jordan Rainey, Jose Ramos Rodriguez, Alexandra Randeza, Grace Raskoff, Catherine Raspa, Brittany Ratcliffe, Sarah Davis Ratcliffe, Summer Ratley, Kylie Rawls, Andrew Rawls, Michael Ray, Madison Reeves, Samuel Reeps, Elizabeth Reese, Allie Reichart, Hunter Reed, Gina Faye Reynolds, Tavay Rhodes, Sierra Richards, Andrew Richardson, Kendall Ritchie, Madeline Richmond, Sydney Richmond, Lauren Rickenbach, Caitlin Ridgway, Alexandra Riley, Mark Ross, Ethan Rio, Helena Ristic, Kendall Ritchie, Logan Roach, Lexi Robeo, Logan Robb, Charles Roberts, Darcy Roberts, Leah Roberts, Van Robertson, Greg Robichaux, Anna Robinson, Audrey Robinson, Brooke Robinson, Caleb Robinson, Taj Robinson, Lindsay Robeson, Ryan Robles. Gabriella Roca. Casey Roach. Caitlin Rogers. Mary Hannah Rogers. Brandon Rogers. Nathan Rogers. Peyton Rogers. Abigail Rogers. Elizabeth Rolla. Anna Romero. Anna Rook.
Blake Roth. Mary Rowan. Ashley Rowell. Julia Rouse. Callista Ruddy. Danielle Ruddy. Paul Runzier. Zachary Russler. Austin Russell. Lakeland Rutland. Patricia Ryan. David Ripkuma. Charles Sod. Stuart Sadler. Nadia Salome. Michael Saloy. Hunter Sanders. Madison Santos. Cameron Saunders. Leonardo Savasta. Cameron Severance. Margaret Scaff. Ryan Segliorini. Laura Shirk. Abigail Schmidt. Helen Schmidt. Jacob Schnack. Sailor Schuster. Abigail Schwickihard. John Scott. Trinity Scott. William Scott. Emily Scruggs. Sydney Scruggs. Peyton Seaman. Claire Seacrest. Jordan Seeger. Sydney Seeger. Levi Segee. Emily Self. Mackley Self. Anna Seltzer. Peyton Serio. Caleb Sewell. Jack Schattinger. Kelsey Sharp. Cole Sheely. Jacob Sheely. Meredith Shelley. Delaney Shellnut. Alyssa Shepard. William Scherer. Nicole Schertzer. Alyssa Shiflett. Jackson Sjogren. Natalie Schuler. Caitlin Schumpert. Richard Sherman. Kate Simmons. Taiwan Simmons Jr. Abby Simpson. Joshua Sinclair. Daniel Sisson. Luke Skurdich. Hannah Skinner. Heather Sloan. Caitlin Sluter. Jim Small. Alexandria Smith. Aubrey Smith. Brendan Smith. Elise Smith. Emily Smith. Bryce Smith. Colton Smith. Hannah Smith. Hunter Smith. Joshua Smith. Catherine Smith. Kendall Smith. Jonathan Smith. Mariella Van Vulpen. Maria Skinner. Margaret Smith. Stephen Smith. Tori Smith. Sarah Smith. Jacob Snyder. Ashton Sobek. Aaron Solomon. Jacob Souza. Bailey Soyebo. Samantha Spence. Christopher Spindler. Emily Squires. Tanner Stalworth. Gracelyn Stanton. Joshua Stapleton. Ella Starr. Tyler Staub. Daniel Steffen. Sarah Stevens. Brooklyn Stevenson. Bethany Stewart. Josh Stokes. Mary Stokes. Julie Stokes. Emily Stryker. Madeline Strickland. Maria Striegel. Madeline Stringer. Jameson Strapp. Laura Stewart. Danielle Stubbs. Sydney Stuckey. Mason Studer. Callie Sturzma. Bridget Sullivan. Caitlin Sullivan. Luke Summer. Catherine Summers. Molly Swan. Lindley Swan. Jennifer Sweatman. Mallory Swedberg. Connor Sweeney. Kaylee Sweeney. Lily Sykes. Vincent Sispanic. Hugh Taggart. Allison Tallman. McCullough Tarner. Jackson Tauscher, Drayton Taylor, Jesse Taylor, Nicole Taylor, Samantha Teague, Cassidy Teal, Alexandria Tedeschi, Ethan Tedford, Courtney Templeton, John Templeton,
Meg Templeton, Justin Terrell, Hart Tuska, Alexander Thaler, Tori Therian, Abigail Thigpen, Justine Toma, Brett Thomas, Emily Thomas, Jalen Thomas, Lindsay Thomas, Tommy Stoopy, Holly Thomason, Julia Thompson, Kyle Thompson, Mills Thompson, Mary Ellis Thornton, Lexi Thrush, Christelle Tyndall, Sarah Tivis, Casey Tobias, Kate Tolson, Michael Tapinka, Andrew Tuziant, Cheyenne Tran, Madison Travis, Bailey Tripp, Morgan Tripp, Eric Tucker, Nathan Tucker, Aaron Tully, Sydney Tully, Emery Tumbleston, Amelia Torella, Madeline Turcott, Avery Turner, Michaela Turner, Sarah Grace Turner, Lindsay Tweet, Hunter Tyson, Bailey Underwood, Elizabeth Upwood, Robin Urban, Morgan Usher, Brendan Van Cleve, Talina Van Overeem, Luke Van An, Victoria Vandermeulen, Caitlin Vanderver, Jackson Vandiver, Alexander Van Hook, Heather Varn, Elena Vaughn, Adriana Venezia, Brooks Verona, Anna Vicente, Bailey Vitek, Emma Voringer, Andrew Volmer. Abigail Walker. Aaron Walker. Samantha Walker. Montana Wall. Kelsey Wallace. Caroline Walpool. Matt Walsh. Caitlin Ward. Easton Ward. Carson Werlick. Hampton Warner. Gage Warren. Aika Washington. Hannah Wassinger. Lenora Watford. Trevor Watson. Spencer Watts. Erica Weirning. Samuel Weber. Amanda Weber. Jacob Weber. Glenn Webster. Gina Weingart. Adeline Wellborn. Aaron Wells. Noah Wells. Riley Westbrook. Rachel Westbury. Jason Westmoreland. Carissa Wheeler. Alyssa Weisel. Tristan Whitby. Alexa White. Brooke White. Kaylee White. William White. Grace Whitwell. Evan Wiggins. Michael Wiggins. Sarah Wild. Amanda Williams. Amelia Williams. Cayman Williams. Jackson Williams. Kylie Williams. Madison Williams. Raina Williams. Thomas Williams. Madison Williams. Lauren Willoughby. Ashley Wilson. Austin Wilson. Hayden Wilson. Lindsay Wilson. Connor Wilson. Charles Winchester. Matthew Windhorn. Paul Windsor. Brannon Wingard. Brantley Witcher. Catherine Whitty. Carson Wood. Jack Woods. Lauren Woods. Aaron Wooten. Charles Worrell. Zachary Worrell. Eleanor Wright. Catherine Wright. Olivia Wright. Allison Werfel. Adam Wyatt. John Weimer. Samantha Xavier. Kinsey Urena. Grayson York. Jake Young. Hazel Zafra. Hannah Zivialongi. Lillian Zamarsley. Rachel Zerker. Ashlyn Noonan. Matthew Piontek. Jessica Rodriguez. Jason Sanders. Nicholas Woodall. Casey Thomason. At this time, we will recognize the members of the Student Alumni Council who are receiving their rings today. They have worked so hard to make our ring ceremony so special, and we are very grateful for their service to Clemson. Eric Coleman. Liza Louder. Mac McKee. Jack McLeod. Catherine Root. And Jules Lewis.
Good evening. I'm Greg Morton, the president of the Clemson Alumni Association. It is always such a pleasure to participate in the ring ceremony, and it's extremely special to be a part of this one. To our speakers and members of the stage party, to the Student Alumni Association members and the alumni staff, and to our hosts here at the Well, thank you for helping us honor these new wearers of the Clemson ring. Each of you went to great lengths for many months planning this ceremony so that all of us could be here today and that we could remain safe while giving these students the ceremony they deserve. To our family members and guests, it means a great deal to these students and to us that you were able to be here and celebrate this moment. And to those of you who are now wearing those shiny new rings, I can't pass up this opportunity to remind you that the Clemson Alumni Association is your lifelong connection to Clemson. As long as you're in touch with the Alumni Association, we will keep you in touch with Clemson. I hope that you will always remember Clemson and what it has done for you so that you can help future Tigers have the same Clemson experience that you've had. For now, wear your new ring with your class year facing you until you graduate. When you graduate, wear your Clemson ring with, when you graduate, have another alum or family member turn your ring around and place it on your finger. Then shout to the world, I went to Clemson. As I close out the program, just a reminder, family and guests, please exit the arena through the main entrances where you entered and meet your student outside once everyone has exited the building. Please do not make your way to the student seating areas. To our students, you'll exit the arena through the loading dock, the same location where you entered the building. As you're leaving through the loading dock, you will receive your congratulatory ring crest glass from the Clemson Alumni Association and Student Alumni Council. We ask that all students and guests be mindful of social distance and ensure that you are continuing to wear your mask as you're leaving the building. And if you're able to visit Clemson before you head back to your respective hometowns, I'd like to encourage you to consider supporting our local businesses back in Clemson. Many of them have felt the impact of COVID-19, and they could certainly use our support. If you did not receive your Clemson Business Directory booklet when you arrived, please check in at the doors as you leave so you can take advantage of some of the offerings that these local businesses are providing. All right, now, if you would, please stand and join me as we sing the Clemson University Alma Mater. Best wishes from the Alumni Association as you approach graduation and move to the next stage of your Clemson experience. Go Tigers!